This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
Hello and welcome, Superfans. This is your weekly episode of All Things Chicago Sports. I'm your host, Dave Oster. Across from me is the original man-child himself, Ricky Widmer.
My laptop is broken.
Very broken.
Like, for my YouTube family out there, this is it standing up normal. And now
that's
it's
where it is. Just wedge something behind it to keep it standing up.
Well, that's what I'm trying, but I can't find anything big enough. That's what she said. Can't find anything big enough, Dave.
There's literally so many things like right behind you that you could use for it.
That'll work,
there you
I
go.
think. And then until it breaks. Because here's the thing that's throwing me off. Because this happened while I was at work today. Yep. The space on the left side is like between the back and the front.
Yeah, between the screen and the case.
And the last time I had a laptop do this, I went to press it shut, and all it was a pop, and then the screen from that corner just dissolved away. And there was a black screen. And I was like,
Not doing that again.
I can't use my screen anymore.
Not doing that again.
So I'm being very delicate with it so that we don't break my laptop.
Anyway, after that behind-the-scenes peek at Ricky Widmer's life.
I feel like, and you can disagree with me, I was listening to one of the podcasts I like, and they were going on a 30-minute conversation about Christmas on a gaming podcast.
Sure.
And the boss came in and was like, hey, get to the show. And the hosts were like, but this is what they really come for. This is what the fans really come for. They come for you and I talking about bullshit, and then we throw in the sports that we talk about.
We're about to talk about the Bears, and the comment section really doesn't appreciate the Packers. Or not the Packers. The Vikings fan in the room.
I mean, that's why I'm not wearing my hoodie. I just will never wear my hoodie again.
Lesson learned.
On Superfans. I didn't want to wear it last week, but I just forgot the first segment, and then continuity, like, you got to keep it on.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to talk Bears today. They literally last night go ahead and beat the shit out of the Dallas Cowboys. It was not a close.
It was the Cowboys.
It was not a close match. That's the first team in your NFC East right there.
The NFC East isn't that tough.
That's your number one seed on their second 3-game losing streak of the year. Anyway. Bears won. Things are wonderful here. So we're going to talk Bears. We're going to talk more Bears. And then we're going to wrap things up with a Bulls session with our patron, Sam. If you want to be a patron like Sam, you can check us out on patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. The $1 tier gets you into our Discord. We do weekly watch-alongs for NBA games, special events I think we're going to do for like some of the wrestling stuff Ricky's really into, I'm into, Jake's into.
I don't know about TLC, man. Like we have
a mystery card.
We are 9 days away.
Mystery.
Not even 9 days. I think we're
next
8
Sunday,
days now, and we know nothing.
Yep.
We know nothing.
So special events, we like to share that. We like to have those events with you guys and experience it with you guys. So that's what that's all about. The $10 tier gets you on our show. We have 2 new patrons this week, this month, I should say, who are joining us.
I should look up.
I want to give them a special shout out.
Dave's like, but I don't
I'm going
have
to keep
this
stalling.
in me.
Ricky's got the patron info, so he's going to be logging in as I speak.
I'm just looking at my email. One is Alexis, and then one is our good friend Batal, right?
Oh.
Batal, Bilal, right?
It's draft season again. That's why.
It's Bilal Overton, because I added a T in. Batal, no, it's Bilal Overton and Alexis.
Oh my God. So yeah, it's going to be a great time. We're going to have 2 new patrons on, bringing you new episodes. I can't wait. I'm super excited about it. I was telling Ricky, I was like, this is going to be great.
I wonder, let's see, did they reply back to Sean's email?
Get a scheduling update live?
Let's see.
This is action-packed Bears intro. Like, can you guys feel this Bears segment?
John's going to be on the fast break, per usual.
Yep.
And then Alexis will also be on the fast break. He wants to talk about DeAndre Ayton.
Dope.
What to expect from him coming back.
Dope.
So that's 2 things we can look for in the future.
I love it. Anyway, you guys are probably wondering, isn't this supposed to be a Bears episode about Mitchell Trubisky?
We'll get there.
It's now like 6 minutes into this episode.
They're coming for us, Dave. 2 good-looking guys. 2 wild and crazy guys.
You keep trying to sell that story. We'll see how many people leave by the time we get the when's the start in the comment section. We'll give you the link. Don't worry about it, Chief. But yeah, Mitchell Trubisky had probably his best performance of the year. Pretty close to it, if not. And I think a lot of fans are starting to go, all right, we got 3 games in a row we won. We got 4 wins out of the last 5 games. Get a little momentum going. Mitch not looking as bad towards the end of the year. has Mitchell Trubisky saved his job and his career as the Bears franchise quarterback?
So I'm going to play hard, like, I wanted to say devil's advocate, but it's not even devil's advocate. No, he hasn't. And the reason why is, as a non-Bears fan, I feel like I'm going to be Sean, because Sean's not the Bears fan, or not the Bulls fan, so he's harsh on the Bulls.
True. We got to have that outside opinion.
I'm going to be harsh on the Bears here.
Yeah.
Who have you played in the last 3?
Yep.
Who have you played? And I know people are going to say you can only play who's on your schedule, but you beat a 2-10 Giants team, which you almost lost that game. If Daniel Jones didn't do what he usually does and fumble the ball away,
Daniel Jones did.
Daniel Jones did. If he didn't do that, you probably lose that game. They go to them 3-9 right now, and he's getting benched, but I think he's getting benched because of injury. Then you play the Lions, who are 3-8-1, and they didn't even have Matthew Stafford, and you almost lost that game. And then you convincingly beat a Cowboys team that is now 6-7, and Stephen A. Smith has mocked all year, and they're in probably the worst division in all football, the NFC least.
But they are in first place in their division, are they not?
Because they're 4-0 against that crappy division.
Are they not?
I almost said crap-ass division.
Yep.
They're 4-0 against that crap-ass division.
Point being, Bears are on a heater, and you're trying to dismiss us for just, getting by. Look, we are winning games. Mm-hmm. This is great. This is where what we should have been earlier this year.
Uh-huh.
Our offense is clicking. Our defense is doing well. And somehow everybody's going down with injuries, but we're still moving forward. We've got basically practice squatters on our tight end position, and they're performing better than our starters were, which I don't have an answer for how that's happening. But they look great. I mean, maybe it's the fact that the Cowboys can't tackle. That helped us a lot last night. Point being, Mitch looked really clean last night, and I think my big takeaways from that game, watching it after the fact, I had recorded it because I wanted to watch it, but I was doing the watch along.
Yeah,
so it was
you guys were watching the NBA
simultaneously going. So when I went back and watched it, it was actually pretty crazy to see how quick Mitch got the ball out of his hands. He was decisive. He made sure that it wasn't 3-step drop, taking 5 steps, taking 7 steps, holding too long. He was clicking. He was thinking on his feet. And honestly, that's what they needed to do. We've been talking about it. The fact that he can't, the route progression, that can you go from receiver 1 to receiver 2 to receiver 3? Can you look off safeties? They came up with a game plan around the fact that he was able to quickly get the ball out of his hands. And when he was getting rid of it, he was throwing darts, which, a couple of those throws were dangerous. That touchdown throw to Allen Robinson, where he literally hit him in the end zone, and it was the shared possession, or what's that called when they both kind of catch at the same time? There's a term for it, I know.
Yeah.
And NBA, NFL refs have. But basically, Robinson caught it, and the defender had a hand in there on the ball, and when the little scrum broke out, and defender walked away with the ball, no, sorry, touchdown first. Tie goes to the receiver. But yeah.
I'm trying to look up that term.
It was like shared possession or something.
Yeah.
But, the Bears' offense clicked, and a lot of it was run after the catch. A lot of it was, post-contact yardage. But the point is, maybe that's how you get the most out of Mitch Trubisky. That's when he's looked his best. You set up those short bubble screens. You set up those the backfield tosses to get him comfortable. And then he feels more confidence throwing darts midfield and taking a look at a longer throw. So for me, I'm personally impressed by this because not only was he doing all of that, he also was able to do it with his legs, which we love watching. He had a quarterback keeper for a touchdown, like a 20-yard run, which was really nice. The one thing, it's interesting. We talked about get him out in space, move him out of the pocket. He didn't need that.
Yeah.
It was get rid of the ball quickly. And this seems to be the best form of Mitch since statistically pretty good, pretty great game. But we watched Mitch last year, and he had kind of gotten better as the year went on, and we were hoping he'd pick up from that year-end momentum. Instead, it was we're restarting again. And I wonder if it's just the thing. He's just a cold starter on the season. Maybe his off-season workout's not as great as it could be. But all I know is this is probably the best he's been playing since the end of last year. And do you think this inconsistency in his play, his job's still up for grabs?
So Bears fans right now, because I know how Chicagoans think, because I am one, is you're on cloud 9 right now.
Absolutely.
Oh, Mitch, I never doubted you. I knew you had it in you all along. bucko.
He's had the physical tools the whole time.
I know, but it's like Bears fans now will be like, I never doubted you for a second, Mitch. I was behind you. Bullshit.
He was statistically a terrible quarterback. It's okay. I know it.
But the big thing for me that I can't help but look at, and I know that there will be people out there that go, oh, but these games were close. It doesn't matter if they were close.
Dallas wasn't close.
No. We were bashing Mitch when they were happening.
Yeah.
Look at the other teams, except for maybe the Raiders, like the Packers. I'd even take that game and push it to the side because week one, nobody played the preseason anyway. So it was basically like preseason light.
It was pretty bad, yeah.
The Saints, that was a team, they beat you. Yes, we had the special teams issues in that game. Yeah. You had the safety in that game. But that was one without Mitch. And I know Teddy Bridgewater was playing really well this year. But that's a playoff team. Yeah. You couldn't beat them. The Chargers, who have been up and down this year.
Hey, we know what happened in that game.
And it's like... The Chargers
that was not
also,
our fault.
And that was also the Matt Nagy decision of like, why didn't you run it? Why didn't you try to
it's not our
get
fault.
it a little closer?
That's
the Eagles.
He did enough
another
to win.
team that I would say are and that's the thing where the Eagles and Cowboys. I would say the Eagles are better than the Cowboys at this point, although the Cowboys are a record ahead because
I disagree.
Let me see. How many times have they played each other?
Phillies just like they play up and down to their opponents so hard. Like it's disgusting.
When they played down to the Dolphins the other week.
Like it I would hate to be a fan having to endure that like you're so much better than this. Why are you doing this to yourself kind of a moment?
I mean, don't you get that sometimes as a Bulls fan?
Oh my God, don't even.
We play up against the Grizzlies or we play up against the Lakers, but we still lose in the end.
Yeah.
But for me with the Bears, before we start saying Mitch has saved his job, let's see what he does in the next three. The next three are the tests. Like if we're studying for the ACT, Dave, the SAT, these first three games, the Giants, Lions, and Cowboys, this was the PSAT, Dave. The practice test. How do you do coming into the last three? Because you get the Packers in Lambeau. That's going to be tough. They're a tough team anyways. They're playing really good this year. They've got Super Bowl aspirations this year. Like actually legit Super Bowl aspirations. Like this is probably the best defense that Aaron Rodgers has had
I
with
agree.
him in
but they're
some
not
time.
Stellar.
But
they're very good.
Still think
they're very good.
They're better than what the Bears have played, which will be a big test for Mitch. Then you got the Kansas City Chiefs. They're always a tough one because, of course, the defense isn't like a shutdown defense, but they're no joke, and Patrick Mahomes can light up a scoreboard. Can Mitch keep up with Patrick Mahomes? That's the big test in that one. And then the Vikings, where in that one, I feel like you have to win going into Minnesota because if you win the next two, then your playoff lives are on the line, possibly. And if the Bears go 0-3 in these next three, I'm just throwing it out there because it's a possibility. Yeah. You'll probably go, knowing the Bears, you'll probably go 1-2. You'll beat the Vikings somehow and then find a way to lose to the Packers and Chiefs.
Don't we always beat the Vikings?
I mean, in the last few years, you've had our number. Like,
we got
in the last,
down.
In the last year, I don't think you guys beat us 2 years ago twice, but last year you swept us.
We put Dalvin Cook behind bars. That guy was not getting
Dalvin
out.
Cook was injured last year.
No, I'm saying the early
first game. Yeah. But last year you swept us. But let's see, 2017. Yeah, 2017 we had your number with. That was the 5-11 year though. Yeah. Last year you did have our number.
Yeah, that was the end of an era.
But at the same time, different Kirk Cousins too. Last year's Kirk Cousins compared to this year's Kirk Cousins is a lot different too.
Post week 4, pre-week 4 Kirk Cousins. Are we talking the one who can throw the ball or the one whose job is to throw 6 passes a game?
It's crazy going into the Monday night game when ESPN analysts are asking him, "Where's your name in the MVP discussion?" I was like, shit, are we really talking about that? Let's not get him ahead of himself. He doesn't need the MVP, but that's besides the story. Yeah. I just think the next three are the big barometer. If Mitch plays this well or even a step below, he's still got to play well. If he plays well in the next three, then he can keep his job.
He broke some minor records with his performance last night. Doing what he did. Completion percentage plus rushing plus touchdowns. He had a very good game. I think what it comes down to is let's break down game by game then, performance-wise. expectations going into the Packers game, like you said, they're a good defense, but they do allow a lot of yards. So the nice thing is, if we can get into decent range, it's just, if we can get the ball moving on that team, they don't give up a ton of points, but if we can get the ball moving, we're going to have to rely on our boy Eddie Pinheiro, who, dicey.
I will say the funniest thing I saw was the clip yesterday of pregame. They go to show Eddie Pinheiro. Oh, he's warming up for 50. Oh, no, he shaked it.
Don't.
Just shanked it to the left.
They need to just turn off cameras when he's warming up.
I think it was was it ESPN or was it NFL? They're like, oh, no, you jinxed him. You jinxed him. It was seriously. It made me laugh, and it just made me laugh. But I mean, the thing with that, I think the Packer game also has big implications for Matt Nagy as well.
Yeah,
because I know Matt Nagy last year went 1-1 against the Packers. If you again go 0-2 to the Packers, one thing that got Lovie Smith fired was not beating the Packers, even though he had a pretty good record overall against the Packers. I think the year he was fired, he went 0-2 against the Packers. But I mean, you got to beat Green Bay. If you can't beat Green Bay, that's a knock against you, quarterback and coach. So with me, it's maybe not you can't go out there and have a hot garbage game.
Right.
But you don't have to throw an immaculate game. You just got to win that game for Bears fans to be happy. Because we know that Bears-Packers games are going to be ugly and messy.
There's always a level of competition there. There's a hatred that's on the field. It is what it is.
Oldest rivalry in football.
It's fantastic to watch, and I'm hoping it's going to be a cold one too. I know next week.
Those cold, frozen tundra
next week,
Lambeau
Wednesday,
field?
We're supposed to have 11 degrees.
That's what Sam was saying in our
So
Discord.
I'm down for
insider information.
Let's get a frozen tundra going. Let's do it up. Let's see how we do in the cold.
Let's see.
But
Lovey's last year, you went 0-2 against the Packers.
And that's what did it.
And your last win with Lovie Smith was the regular season of 2010.
Yeah, well, we had other coaches between, No.
I'm saying from Lovey's last season was 2012.
Yeah.
His last win was 2010. So you
against
went
the Packers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight losses against the Packers before enough was enough.
Did you know Aaron Rodgers is good at football?
He's very good at football.
Fucking what? We get it, kid.
And the Bears since then, like you've said, have had different coaches.
Yep.
The only times you were able to win is 2013 you guys won 27-20. 2015 you won 17-13. And last year 24-17.
Yeah. So we're due for a split. That's fine. Let's split it up.
Another split.
Look, the point is their defense lets up yards. Whether we can finish those drives or not, I've got concerns. Mitch Trubisky, red zone. This week, he threw a fucking 2 great passes for touchdowns. One got in the end zone because, broken tackles. And then the other one he rushed in. So, 50-50 on the, confidence meter right now.
Yeah.
So I think that's a fair matchup. I think he has a chance to have another solid game. But if the weather comes in there and hits us hard, be prepared for a lot of Dave Montgomery. That's all I'm saying. But you get the following week, Patrick Mahomes, and that team.
It's a big one.
Dude, that game's going to be amazing.
And
that's a showdown.
It's also got the connotation for Mitch. I know Mitch isn't going to think this way, but we will, because that's what we do. We talk about these things.
We do.
It's going to have the connotation of if Mahomes comes in and lights it up, and he looks phenomenal like usual, and Mitch doesn't, many people, even though it's not justified in Mahomes' case, because who was going to take Mahomes over? People were talking Watson and Trubisky at the top of the draft. There are people that are going to say, see, look at it. He got outplayed by someone in his draft class. So people,
that was apparent day one, though.
That connotation will be there if he gets showed up.
We
by
took
Patrick
the project
Mahomes.
kid. We took the blank slate. We didn't take the champion. We didn't take the kid with a rocket for an arm.
Really, no, when Patrick Mahomes, when the Chiefs traded up for him, it was a shock. That's all you needed to know. It was
I'd love to go back and show our
up.
takes on that. I'm just saying.
I remember it happened because I was at your house.
I know.
And I was like, really? Patrick Mahomes that high?
Yep.
That high?
That high.
The voice gets higher.
He's that good.
High?
But yeah, again, I think shootout could happen. I think that could be a fun one. And again, their defense, middle tier. They're middle to bad. So I'm all for it. And then you wrap up against the Vikings, the team that we've had the number for the last year and a half. Let's do it. You said tough games, and I agree they're going to be tough games, but offensively, he should be able to move the ball on all three of these teams.
Yeah, but every time this year we've said, "Oh, Mitch should be able to do this." He hasn't.
He did last night.
Yeah, but
he did the week before that.
Even coming into this Thursday game, we weren't the most optimistic. Like, we weren't like the sky is falling like we are when we talk about the Bulls.
I got you.
But we weren't super optimistic. Like, we did not, none of us, Sean, nor me, thought that the Bears were going to walk in and just dominate that game.
True. I don't disagree with any of that, but the point is that we did, and it did happen.
Yeah, no, it happened. But I'm just saying, like, expectations, just because we expect...
I think Sean's rooting for Mitch Trubisky to suck terribly.
Yeah,
Sean,
I think
don't let me put words in your mouth here. You let us know. I think Sean was trying to root for Mitch to do terribly over the next 3 weeks, so there wasn't a hard decision.
Yeah.
I think the problem is if Mitch does well the next 3 weeks, what do we do?
Because
do we still draft
it's a
somebody
Chicago
for competition? Do we still go out in free agency and sign someone, who can be a competitor and who can push him? Or do we just take the lazy route and sign, an undrafted pick an undrafted pick, or a bottom tier quarterback who we know has no competition level.
Well, it's how many times in Chicago sports have we seen either with a coach, a player, where it's like on the hot seat, gonna get fired, and then it's like, oh, they saved their job. They did enough to save it, and in the end, it wasn't like all right, this is a turning point, and they took off from there. It was just no, we should have got rid of them here, although it's like the kid that goes, hey, I've got an F, 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 F. Hey, I got an A. F, F. Like, it didn't change anything. You just, hey, you got an A once. How many times have we seen that in our sports history?
Yeah.
And I think from Sean, and yet again, Sean, I'm putting words in your mouth, let me know. I think from Sean's point of view, it's kind of like I don't want to see that happen again. Like, he wants Mitch to either be good and be the guy, or Mitch to suck and not be the guy, so it's a clean off.
We need consistency out of Mitch, and that's going to go the farthest way. So I think to wrap up this, back and forth, it's just if Mitch, he has all the opportunity in the world. These next 3 games, he has not cemented it yet. What we've seen so far this year has been the worst of Mitch and the best of Mitch. We need to land on consistency these last couple of games. 3 teams, 3 great matchups where he's going to probably have a chance. I think in one of these games, there'll be a game-winning drive. Yeah. He'll have the chance to. I don't know if he'll win or not. I'm just going to toss out there. All 3 are going to be, 2 of the 3 are going to be close games. I have a bad feeling about that Chiefs. Ooh.
Do you think the Chiefs come in and blow you out?
I got a bad feeling about that game.
Okay, even though it's in Chicago.
I know.
Okay.
It just got feelings, man.
Is it 2 road games? Yeah. So, no. I'm looking at the Bears schedule from 2017.
We're at Packers.
2 road games. So
back at home.
Damn, you're ending the season back-to-back in Minnesota. Like, last year you ended in Minnesota. This year you ended in Minnesota.
Hey, if it's a chance for a playoff spot, what better way to have that game?
And I'm telling you, if the Bears and Vikings is for a playoff spot, that's going to be a Sunday night game. Like, I have a feeling it's going to be.
That down, yeah. No, I'd be super excited about that.
Because let's see, now I'm curious to see what the other 17 games are. So if the Bears and Packers,
who's
Bears and Vikings are, there's no night.
Oh, okay.
So they keep them
keep it open.
They keep them open so they can flex one. If the Bears Vikings is for a playoff spot, that should be Sunday night. The other games we have is Jets Bills won't fucking matter.
No.
Browns Bengals won't matter. Cowboys Redskins won't matter. Packers Lions won't. Chargers Chiefs won't. Giants Eagles, Patriots Dolphins, Falcons Bucks, Saints Panthers is done. Colts Jags is done. There's one game.
What's that?
2 games. Fuck, 2 games. One is Titans Texans.
Nobody cares.
If they're fighting for the division, though,
nobody cares.
The other one, Seahawks Niners for the NFC West in Seattle.
Yeah,
I think that's the clear number 1.
That will take it away from us.
Both teams 10-2 right now.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the Sunday night game.
That's the Sunday night flex.
The MVP and Russell Wilson playing against Jimmy Garoppolo.
I will take number 2.
Chicago kid.
I know. I love him. I'll take number 2. Okay. But yeah, no. I think that 3 strong games, consistency out of Mitch, showing confidence that he can make the throws. Will go the farthest. Even if he has, a game with 2 interceptions. God forbid there's another interception. Whatever. Like, as long as he looks confident, he's making decisions, I'm happy moving forward with him. I think that if he stumbles in any of these 3 games, I'm taking quarterback in like the 3rd, 4th round. 100%. 100%.
Basically your first or second pick.
No, we got second rounders.
Yeah. Oh, so you're saying second rounder?
Well, it depends who's available. If Tua's on the board, if Tua Tagovailoa is on the board,
if Jacob Eason's there, like I know it's early, we haven't looked totally like in depth into these prospects. Like how in love will people be with Eason and stuff? So I mean that's a possibility too.
I don't know. We'll see.
There's also the Phillip Rivers debate. Do you go after the free agency?
The 40-year-old Phillip Rivers. I'm good. I'm good.
I mean, Phillip Rivers ain't bad.
I love Phillip Rivers. The bolo tie is my jam.
The Chargers lose him games. He doesn't lose games. The Chargers lose.
You're
him
fucking
games.
right. He's amazing out there. But
he's my fantasy quarterback in one of my leagues. Got to defend
I've heard
him.
Phillip Rivers. I've heard Andy Dalton. I can't tell you how little I want either of those guys in this team.
Teddy Two Gloves.
Teddy Bridgewater. I don't know. Phillip Bridges might look better than that.
I bring that up because last week we got comments about how
they don't want him.
If Teddy Bridgewater is the coach, I don't want
the quarterback.
I don't want to be a fan of this team.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but I wouldn't want him. Anyway, all the opportunities are there. If he struggles, I'm taking a QB. If he plays consistently, looks great, I got no problem going next year. He's on the final year of his rookie deal.
Yeah.
Like, look, we're playing with house money. Our defense maybe has a chance to get healthy. We should be getting Hicks back at some point this week. So I'm looking up. I think the Bears have a chance to end on a strong note and play spoiler for your Vikings. So I'm all
Dave's
upside
like, I don't care
one.
about the other two. Just win that one.
I'm all upside on this one. I'm hoping Mitch can be the quarterback of the future for our team, but has he done it yet? No. Let us know what you guys think, though. And next up, we're actually going to throw you guys a curveball. We pivoted mid-segment.
A literal
and
curveball.
Decided that, you know what? Let's just talk Sox a little bit. Let's just give them a little bit of Sox love because
we're talking baseball. No, not the old Simpsons episode.
You know, I'll take it. I'm sorry. Just the Ken Griffey Jr. Simpsons is my favorite. Like, God, I love that episode.
Wasn't it Griffey? It's Griffey's grotesquely swollen jaw?
Yes.
Jaw?
Yeah.
Because he had the giantism.
That
Or
was
giantism.
Great. That was absolutely great.
Roger
Anyway.
Clemens clucking on the mound.
Anyway, the White Sox free agency this year has been interesting. We've had our ups and our downs. We obviously re-signed our first baseman, who I am completely forgetting.
Jose Abreu.
So we got him locked down on our contract. We picked up Yasmani Grandal in the hopes that, hey, we're getting up a top 3 catcher in the MLB, and maybe we're going to pull in some good pitching and understand that, hey, if we got him behind the plate and at bat, you guys want to play here, right? We go out and we throw money at Zack Wheeler. We are the top bidder. We're like, take all our money, literally all of it, just anything you want. And he's like, I'm good. I'm going to go play for a team that might have a better chance of winning sooner. Or maybe it's just some other thing. I don't know what, which is at the end of the day.
Which baffles me because the Phillies are literally the team that signed Bryce Harper and couldn't make the playoffs.
Well, that's the thing. What did they need last year?
Pitching.
Now you have pitching, you've got hitting.
I could be the one to change that is basically what he's saying.
He'd come and be a hero. He could have been a hero in Chicago too, but whatever. You know what, Ricky? My feelings on this are pretty clear. I'm just happy the White Sox threw money out there. The fact that he didn't sign here, disappointed a smidge.
Yeah.
I wish he would have. I would have loved to have him on our team. But the fact that we went out there and we showed other teams, hey, we're going to pay players as much as we possibly can to get them to come to our town and win for our franchise. I'm thrilled with that. That's being floated out there. And I know this next tier of pitchers, again, it's the do you want to play in Chicago? Do you want to play with this team? We can give you the most money, but you might have other preferences or other things building up to that decision on your own that you decide to go elsewhere. I'm concerned about that.
Yeah, well, the thing for me is if Grandal didn't sign, then this would scream like, great, we still can't get him to come here. Even if we give him the most money, we can't get him to come here. So it's like Sox fans can't sit there and completely go, nobody wants to come here, but you're still in that situation where it's like, all right, to some free agents, if we give them enough money, the money talks. But for others, it's still a situation of, I don't care how much money. You go ahead and give us.
Well, I mean, and here's the other thing is, since we've already made a big offer out there to one of the best pitchers, and a couple other guys have already signed, we're looking at that I would argue second tier pitching with Keuchel, Bumgarner, Ryu. Like those were the backup guys. That's the like you're not getting your ace. Like we're assuming Strasburg. No.
Like
No.
if you're gonna get the high end pitcher, Strasburg would be the guy. Yeah. But it's like a 1% chance in my mind because Garrett Cole, as soon as the news came out that the Yankees were putting together like a monster offer, I'm like, great. Jake's going to be happy. He's going to be a New York Yankee.
Yeah.
Like, and if he doesn't go to the Yankees, I think Garrett Cole's going to be either a Yankee or an Angel next year.
Okay.
I almost said A, but I'm like, there is a team called the A's.
Yeah.
In the MLB, so he's not going to Oakland. He's going to go to either LA or New York.
You think we're third string again?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't think Garrett Cole comes to Chicago.
Yeah. So if we strike out on Cole, it's down to Strasburg at that top tier then, and if Strasburg says no, because it'd be unlikely if he chose us. I would love it, but it'd be unlikely if he did go with us. Like I said, do you have anybody else that's in that top tier for you, or do you have that line right after those two guys as well?
The other one is he's not a top tier, but like I know that Sam, our patron, always talks about him because I feel like Sam likes him as a pitcher and would love to see him in Chicago.
Yep.
But Ryu's a guy where it's
I mentioned him in the second tier.
Okay.
It's Keuchel, Bumgarner, and Ryu.
Then yes, Cole and Strasburg, and then Ryu starts the second tier. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess that's the thing is, should we set our expectations on that second tier of guys if we can go after a couple of them and try to not overpay? Because that's my concern now. Now that we've like flashed the cash, it's like, all right, I think, we offer it to Cole. We see what happens. Cause I think he's going to end up signing before Strasburg does. Got a feeling.
I mean, the thing is, the news that's come out today from the Nationals.
All right.
Where apparently this is from on NBC Sports Washington.
Yeah.
I want to get the name. The principal owner.
Yep.
So Washington Nationals managing principal owner Mark Lerner said today and told NBC Sports Washington today that they will not have the money to keep Strasburg and Rendon. So basically they got to pick between them. The exact quote was, we really can only afford to have one of these two guys. They're huge numbers. We already have a really large payroll to begin with, so we're pursuing them. We're pursuing other free agents in case they decide to go elsewhere. I kind of feel because of this, the White Sox aren't in a win now mode.
No, we're setting the table.
You're setting the table up. Your hope, like last year was, let's see what the young guys can do.
Now it's like, if we add in an ace, can we hit the playoffs? I think we can get the playoffs.
I think playoffs would be like pie in the sky. Like that's the top end goal.
Yeah.
Like,
I think let's sniff the playoffs.
Like
let's get in there. Let's get a little experience.
Yeah, like
seasoning.
That's an amazing season. But if you miss the playoffs, it's not going to be a broken season for the White Sox. Well,
if we don't land an ace and we don't make the playoffs, I don't think anybody's going to question.
Yeah, no, and that's
why.
But
if we do hit an ace, I think the hope is, we're close. We're fighting.
And also, if you get the right free agents in and you get some guys now, you can then make that decision. Okay, is Ricky the guy for the future? Is Renteria the guy moving forward for manager? Because in Chicago, I mean, I feel bad for him on the north side, but he was kind of pushed out for, Joe Maddon's over here. Bye.
Yep.
We're going to go with him, which I'm glad they made that move. I don't think we win the World Series if Renteria was our manager instead of Joe Maddon. But
he had some kooky moves. I'll give you that.
I kind of have a feeling that the White Sox, now that Wheeler went ahead and signed elsewhere, I feel like the White Sox for right now sit back a little bit. Don't be that over pursuing person. Like you're looking for a date to the dance, Dave. Don't worry. The dance is far enough away. You'll find a date. You don't have to find one right this second.
But we need a mentor. We need an ace in there so our young guys can kind of latch on and get,
I feel like
I think that helps.
You can find that, though. And let's say the Nationals take Rendon.
Rondon, yeah.
All right. Then we're going after Strasburg. If they take Strasburg, then you can make your big money offer at Rendon. That's what you're waiting for them for. Because if, let's say, they keep Strasburg, I feel like I am not totally off the Madison Bumgarner wagon.
Yeah.
Where I feel like him as a 30-year-old, I mean, a year younger than Strasburg? Mm-hmm. He's a good pitcher. He can be that mentor that you're looking for, and he's not going to break the bank like Strasburg would. Now, if you're looking at WAR numbers, because baseball, you can just look at the stats and it helps.
There's a billion stats in baseball.
Like
how many strikeouts did he have on Tuesdays that were raining
with the lights on, and that he was thrown with the left hand instead of the right hand?
Of course.
But I mean, the WAR, Strasburg's obviously at a 5.7, Bumgarner's at a 3.2. But even if you got a Madison Bumgarner, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think the White Sox have to break the bank by getting a Strasburg, getting a Ryu.
Yeah.
Because they can get a guy. Let's say you even don't get Madison Bumgarner. There's guys out there like Rick Porcello, I think could be. If you're looking for that mentor, Rick Porcello can be one. Because I'm trying to look like Tanner Roark, I wouldn't put in that mentor facility, but like a Porcello, I would. Dallas Keuchel, you could.
Keuchel's health is the only thing that concerns me, obviously, and he's going to get lower money because of that.
Exactly.
So we might be able to pair Keuchel with someone else if we go after him.
I mean, or you can go after Aaron Sanchez as well, Rich Hill. Aaron Sanchez wouldn't be that mentor role part.
No, but I want someone who can be a number one or number two at the same time. Like, that's the thing is like, if you're not going to be the number one ace, then we need someone who could be a number two and a locker room guy who the younger guys can feed off of, someone and kind of poke at, and
someone who can boost Giolito into that number one role.
That's the thing. Yeah. I need someone who has that. I'm trying to think of a nice way to say
that chutzpah. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah. I keep trying to think of words, and all I keep thinking of is like I keep picturing like Rookie of the Year in my head for some reason.
It's on Disney Plus, by the way.
It is.
Dave's like, I've got Jake's. I can go watch it.
I could. Thanks, Jake. Anyway. Yeah, it's just someone they can bounce and build their craft off of. Like, you need that guy who you can ask questions and you can be like, hey, I'm thinking about tweaking this. Because the pitching coach is one thing, but having another ace in the locker room means a whole lot else. Yeah. So,
and I mean, like,
I'm cool with it.
Like with the Cubs, to kind of relate it there, with Kyle Hendricks.
Who's for sale up there?
I feel like he could, during that World Series run, if he had a question, you had John Lester, which was like
professional.
You had also, for the position guys, a guy like David Ross, where you can go ask him a question. Jason Hayward, who's been around.
We were joking around about how many locker room guys is too many locker room guys.
Exactly. You need locker room guys. You do. And that's what I was trying to say. The other thing, too, is like the big thing. I'm looking at an article here, and this is kind of walking away from the pitcher spot, but the Chicago Tribune put out the 5 biggest questions. For the winter meetings for the White Sox, because usually the winter meeting, like baseball free agency has been interesting the last few years, because it seems like free agents, like, and that's why with Strasburg, Rendon, some people in the comment section might say, well, Ricky, you can't wait forever because Bryce Harper didn't sign until spring training was almost here. So like, is Strasburg and Rendon, are they going to be like, you know what, we'll wait it out. We'll see which one the Nationals want more. Which one do they want? Do they want me, or do they want Strasburg? Or do they say, hey, you lost out on both of us? Like, that could happen the Nationals. Obviously, the Tribune, the first one, what we're talking about is free agency starting pitching. Who's going to be available. But also, like, you've got other needs on this team besides pitching. You still need a right fielder. You still need, like, there's other options through trades that you can do. Everyone wants to talk about Mookie Betts, and is Mookie Betts going to be here? But apparently,
the last year of his deal, he's going to want a fuck ton of money. So unless you're going to get a lockdown on that contract extension, is it worth the investment?
But here's a big one, too. USA reported this past Tuesday that the Sox have had, and they use quotes in, preliminary trade talks with the Dodgers for Jock Peterson. That's a guy young. He's 27. He's a left-handed hitting, so he's belting. He had 36 home runs last year. And the thing with him is he's young and he's 27, and you're going to have more control over a Jock Peterson because after this year, he enters arbitration.
Right.
So, and I believe you have then 3 years of arbitration with him. Oh, no, Spotrac has something different. So Spotrac says he's an unrestricted free agent after 2021, but the Tribune article says that according to MLB trade rumors, he'll have 1 more year of arbitration and is projected to earn $8.5 million.
Okay.
So he could be a cheap option for 2 years before you have to pay him.
Okay. I don't know. I like the idea of it, but I'm sorry. I'm swinging for the fence on pitching still. That's my priority. I get position players. Yeah. We will fill them in over time. We still have pretty good guys in the farm system too, which I think, again, if we don't land the ace, let them play again. See who we want to bring up. We can kind of rotate through the crop this next year. We've got a lot of great talent down there.
Because you also don't want to have a bad contract.
Exactly. That's my fear is the overpay.
You don't want to overpay for someone because you panicked.
If we overpay for a mid-level pitcher, I'm going to scream.
Well, it's even if you're like, and I'll even say, even if the Sox overpaid for like a Ryu, because I feel like that's an option. Like you can't, even though Ryu's been good, you can still overpay for him.
It'd be cool if we front load the contract and overpay. So if it starts high and then
so he can get paid less later.
And then we can just push him off. Yep.
Yeah,
just in case.
For me with the White Sox, it's like the winter meetings will be interesting.
Yep.
And it's like, for now, after Zack Wheeler has said no, I think if you're the White Sox, you pivot.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, we might not need one of the top-end starting pitcher guys. Let's switch our focus up a little bit.
Yeah.
If you want to get a Jock Peterson via trade, go ahead and do that. The question is then what will you have to give up for him? That'll be a conversation for a different day. But like,
for sure.
You could also be like, hey, let's push for a Rendon. Let's push for a Nick Castellanos.
I was going to say the one name we haven't brought up this entire time is Castellanos.
You got to say his name.
I was going to see if you're going to... Are you protecting him? Do you think that's...
I would love to see him back on the north side, but that's just me. That's my fan bias coming through.
I feel like, if we don't spend $1 billion on Garrett Cole, Castellanos, maybe he should be in that second tier.
Yeah.
In the same grouping as Ryu, at least, I don't know. I would be interested in him. I've liked watching him. I don't know.
Dave's like, I don't know how I really feel. Like, the whole thing with the Sox is you've got options.
Yep.
You've got big options. And
priorities.
There are priorities, but also the one thing now that the Zack Wheeler move is going to do, and this I'm bringing this up because this is going to shake up what happens with the White Sox, as yet again, we're getting more and more news, and some of it's like, when's it going to happen? But apparently the Phillies are eyeing both Rendon and Strasburg. And the thing is, here's a question I'll ask you: is with Wheeler going to the Phillies, do you think there's could the Phillies be the team we look at the end? That basically is like, fuck it, we're going to pull a Yankees type of situation. We're getting them all. We're getting Wheeler. We're getting Rendon.
If they broke the
Strasburg, we're going for it because we've got to get Bryce help.
Oh my God, that would be insane. Absolutely be insane.
And if that happened, that would affect the White Sox.
Okay, so
they can't get Rendon, can't get Strasburg.
So my priorities then are, if it's Garrett Cole, Strasburg, Ryu, then I would pivot to Castellanos. I'd go for that position player. Then I would go back to pitching.
Yeah. And
then I would look for trades. Is that about?
Say it one more time.
Okay, so it's Garrett Cole first because he's best.
You got to make an offer.
Is it going to be 300? Do you think that's what it'll take to land him?
If the Yankees offer him the most and he turns it down, I will be calling him the stupidest person on this podcast.
Okay.
Because
that's fair.
Like with Garrett Cole, when you're that good, take the fucking money.
Take the money.
Man. Take the money and run.
Take the spotlight. Wear the pinstripes. Wear them proudly.
Jalen Ramsey said it best. Like when they roll the Brinks truck up, you run with that money. He didn't say that, but I'm paraphrasing.
All right. So we've got Garrett Cole at 1, Then you go look the Strasburg Rendon situation.
Which now on the CBS article, there's it says Rendon seems like the likeliest fit of the three. This is for the Phillies.
Yeah.
As the Nationals feel most confident about retaining Strasburg.
I would think so.
Per Heyman. So
that'd be cool.
Per John Heyman.
Yeah.
That's Strasburg is who the Nationals are looking to keep first.
Yeah. Okay. So
makes sense.
If that happens, that's fine. Then we go down to that B tier, and now I'm flip flopping. I'm like, I'd take Ryu, and then I would switch over to gain a fielder, get Castellanos out there, and then I would go back for free agency pitching. Like I don't know why I'm valuing him so much. Maybe it's just to fuck with you because you're a Cubs fan, and I want to take him away.
Castellanos.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
He's a good bat. He's a good fielder.
Dave's a spiteful person.
He's a good bat, good fielder. Is there what more do you want from someone? He's still young.
Yeah.
He's still got contract. It won't be a Brinks truck situation. That's why I'm like, I'd rather go after someone like him, land him. Oh,
I'm gonna bring these up anyways, but they're funny.
All right, cool. So yeah, that's it. It's pitching, and then if we fall out of that top tier and then Ryu, then go after, spend the money, get Castellanos in, then back to pitching and priorities.
Yeah. So I'm looking at, of course, you got to take this with rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
This is from lasportshub.com.
Yep.
Which is of the fan-sided network, but it's an LA-sided, fan-sided.
Yeah, I gotcha.
They have 3 trades for Jock Peterson with the White Sox involved. The White Sox are in all 3 of these trades.
Yep.
The first one is a 3-team trade with the Dodgers, White Sox, and Mets. The only player that the White Sox would give up is Calvin Herrera, who is a younger player. They're basically swapping Herrera and Jock's salaries, and then the Mets are going to give up Familia and cash, and they'll get players to be named later. I don't know if this happens. This just sounds like, hey, we'll give you a young guy that you want. The Dodgers get cash, and then the Mets can dump Familia off the team and just say, hey, we'll take players to be named later. The other 2 were spicy, like extra spice. Like the Spice Wars would love this. 3-team trade, Dodgers, White Sox, and the Indians. I don't know if the Indians would want to help. Why would the Indians want to help the White Sox?
Yeah.
And this is the rose-colored glasses part, because guess who the Dodgers get?
Who?
Corey Kluber.
Oh.
Kluber, if I could say that right. That's the rose-colored glasses.
What?
So the Dodgers get Kluber.
Yeah.
The White Sox get Peterson. And then the Indians basically get young players. They get Tony Gonsolin, Edwin Rios, Blake Rutherford, and Selby Zavala. Basically, young players from both of the team.
I didn't know if are the Indians moving Kluber? Like, is that a thing?
I mean, he's a free agent. He's a free agent after next year.
Right.
They could.
I don't see a reason why. I don't know.
I don't see why you move him either. The other one is a Mookie Betts trade. Of course, the Dodgers would get Mookie Betts.
Who doesn't want
deal.
Mookie Betts? I'm sorry.
The White Sox only get Jock Peterson.
Yeah.
And then the Red Sox get yet again
everybody's farm system
from both of those teams. So I mean, it's an idea out there, but I mean, that's also a part of it too, is to, with a grain of salt.
Yep.
If you're a White Sox fan that wants the Jock Peterson trade, every single trade has had a third team. Will you need a third team to facilitate a trade for Jock Peterson?
Probably, but
because the Dodgers aren't a team that's like, yeah, give me your farm system.
Yeah, they don't need that
they're
right
going
now,
for
and that's
World
where we're
Series.
at. So that's fair. I like the use of the third team. I think of all the trades, the first one might be the most
to dump
sense.
Everyone's farm system into.
The other 2 don't really jive at all with me. But yeah, no,
that's kind of what. But the one thing I will say, pitching, is don't be afraid if the White Sox get Madison Bumgarner. I don't think it'll be a bad move.
Dude eats innings.
Yeah.
For breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And he can, and I was gonna say Andy can bat, but you don't have to worry about that in the American League. You can pinch hit with him.
You can pinch hit.
You can pinch hit.
Sure. That's totally realistic.
My name is Big Al, and I hit dingers.
And on that note, And let's wrap things up with our pride and joy here, and my pride and joy in the Chicago Bulls. The team
Are they your pride and joy? Out of all the Chicago teams, I think you've backed off on them the most.
And yet, here we are. Here we are, supporting a team that is a dumpster fire, but I love that dumpster fire. I can root for them.
Remember how I said we were winning after one? We're now losing in the second.
We're losing to a G League team. Fantastic. We are recording this on Friday night while the Bulls are playing against the Golden State Warriors and apparently putting up a decent fight.
Lowry's got 15, though, so I'll take it.
Dope. Anyway, this segment is special because we're joined by one of our favorite patrons, Sam. Sam, thank you for jumping on this call. Thank you for being a patron to us. What the whole concept of this thing was let's get out our frustrations, our expectations. We were very high on the Bulls coming into this year. I was projecting playoffs. Ricky was projecting playoffs. And we've seen what we've seen so far. The first quarter of the season's over. So, Sam, what do you make of our playoff expectations for this Bulls team, and then what you've seen on the court?
I didn't think we were going to be this much of a complete dumpster fire in every respect imaginable. It's really been terrible to watch. I mean, I seriously thought we'd be at least, near 500 after the first 20 games. But, God, it's been just ugly streaming. I've had to do, every other game.
And that's true. I mean, is there one thing, that stands out about the frustrations from this early season? Is it the head coach? Is it the front office? Is it a specific player struggling?
I would say it's a little bit of everything, but mainly it's because of Jim Boylan's ridiculous military commandant style of coaching, which I just do not understand halfway from Sunday, half the times I've been watching him.
Yeah, no, I think it's tough because Boylan's out there and presenting one image. We kind of talked about this in a previous one where he presents one image to the public, to the media, and then he might be a different, just a little bit of a two-faced kind of guy.
You guys watch movies, right?
Different guy in the locker room, yeah.
Right? You watch movies?
Yeah, I watch movies. Totally a guy's guy, locker room buddy. Ricky, what do you think? Is Boylan the focal point of your early season frustrations on this Bulls team?
Well, I feel like he's going to become the focal point because, and when I say that, I saw a great tweet. I'm going to pull it up again. I was going to pull it up when you were in the live watch-along, Dave, but then we got sidetracked with different conversations, and I later pulled it up when Soapy and Sam were there, and I was talking to them. But one of the guys I follow from Bulls Twitter, Bulls Kingdom, he quoted a tweet from Casey Johnson that was a Zach LaVine quote.
Oh, God, I know what this is.
Do you, where he's talking about how...
Just wait until you pull it up. I'll give you a second.
Let's see. God, he tweets a lot.
He does. Very active on Twitter.
Oh, right here. So the Casey Johnson tweet read this. LaVine on the team leaning on him playing more in the fourth. I've made plays before. I made a lot of plays last year and even my first year here. I don't know why they switched up. Obviously, I'm going to continue to make the plays when my number is called. And Bulls Kingdom quoted that and said, Zach fed up. We love it. Well, once Zach starts playing better, like he has, all it takes is Lowry. Once Lowry starts playing better, it's like, okay, he's playing better. He's playing better. Wendell's playing good. Gafford looks good. White looks good. Who's the common denominator of who's bad? And all the fingers just come right back to Boylan.
That's
once the players start performing, if they don't translate into wins, where's the blame? The coach.
I agree. Sam, I think one of the biggest catalyzing moments of the season, at least for me, is you look at the benching of Zach LaVine, the temporary benching of Zach LaVine. People want to blow it out of proportion, say it's ridiculous, but you know what?
He's been in fuego since.
Exactly.
In fuego.
Zach has been on fire. He is untouchable. He's shooting so well. He's scoring at a great clip. His looks on assisted threes are fantastic. Him playing off ball. He's just playing with a different level of passion, it looks like. Do you give him credit for that, Sam? Do you give not only Boylan, but also Zach LaVine the response credit?
Well, I think his almost 50-point performance against Charlotte the next night was just such a delicious middle finger to him indirectly, like saying like, so you don't want me out trying to score all these damn points because my defense is allegedly crap. You know, it's like, I'm trying. I'm only 24. I still got a lot to learn. But I think the fact I can pour in this many freaking points, I think that's going to be more helpful than as far as me being on a bench when it's like the most critical time in the game.
Yeah, you know? I completely agree. I think one thing that it kind of meets in my head is just because you're, very good at offense doesn't mean you can't try at everything else. It's you have to commit some level of effort. Otherwise, it's not acceptable. And now that Zack is giving it his all, I think you're right, Ricky, in the piecing it together of once he starts going, you look at the other guys on the team, and if they can start putting together some consistent nights, we've seen, I think in the Grizzlies game, it was they got Lowry going early. They got him very involved out the gates.
The last two
games.
Got cooking. The last two games, and now even by stat watching the Warrior game now as it's going on while we're recording this, the last three games, Lowry's been playing pretty good.
Yeah.
Like in that Sacramento game, like you mentioned it, or not you mentioned, but like Stacey King mentioned it during the game where it's like, man, this is the Lowry we want to see. Let's see how this plays out if he can keep doing this. And it looks like he's done it against the Grizzlies. It looks like, obviously, haven't watched the game yet as we're recording during the game, but stat-wise, it looks like, yet again, doing it again against the Warriors. Good shooting split, 15 points as of right now when we're recording.
Yeah.
Looks like he's playing up in the last three.
It's true. It's true. I mean, this feels entirely too positive. We're talking about how our expectations were shattered by the team sucking. I mean, like,
here's a question I've got.
Yeah.
And this comes in because Sam, the one thing you asked was, were we too high on our expectations? And there's a part of me that says no. And the reason why is my expectation was this is an 8th seed in the East. And the reason why I'm saying no is I feel like we can still be that 8th seed in the East no matter how bad the first part of this season has been. Like, call me crazy, but I still feel because of how bad the East is, we can still sneak into that 8th seed.
Can I raise a counterpoint potentially to
Absolutely.
That,
Lovely.
So, did you guys happen to see what the latest MRI results for Mr. Porter turned out to be?
He's out 2 more weeks.
Yeah, that bone edema or whatever the hell you pronounce that. Speaking, but
none of us are doctors. It's okay.
Yeah, but basically, I think it's going to be a long-term thing potentially for the rest of the year. It sounds like he really messed it up, whatever it actually happened with the actual sprain initially. But my question is okay, let's say he's going to be nagging all year, but if we lose 1 or 2 more key guys to something severely nagging their full potential of their performance, do you think that's going to severely hamper our overall efforts to make that 8th spot?
As long as it's not Zach LaVine.
Or Lowry Markkanen.
Nope. I'm going to say we've been playing with Lowry playing terrible, and we've been limping along.
Yeah.
If Zach goes down, this team, I think you plug Kobe White in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Hypothetically. And this team is definitely worse. It's just I don't think we can compete for a playoff spot if he misses, a month of time. I think that's just a lot. I think that's if you're going to miss, anywhere from 8 to 15 games, that's a long stretch without him. And I will give credit. Denzel Valentine's looked pretty good coming off the bench as of late. He's looked confident. His shots are going well. He's still slow as hell, but he's still out there.
Even Satoransky in the last few games has looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And I'm saying offensively. Defensively, he's been doing good for us. This whole team is good defensively, but even though we lost against the Warriors, he still had 19 points.
Yeah.
Although we lost to Portland, he still had 12. And he's had 14 and 13 in the last 2 wins.
That's what you brought him in for.
Exactly. But, it's offensively, we haven't seen what we expected out of him because he's had to do so much on the other end of the floor as well.
Plus, He's a facilitator. He's a versatile backup point guard. We're giving him a chance to be a starting point guard on our team, and then we're not running the sets for him to be, the 6'7" point guard out there who has the ability to facilitate, who can get other guys involved. And instead, our sets seem very, I don't want to say aimless, but it seems like at times we have half of the offense just doing nothing, staying there, and he's running two-man action. And, what we're really hoping to get is something similar where Zach LaVine is able to play off-ball confidently and be able to just take those step-up shots, catch and shoots, catch and beat the guy off the dribble, come around the curl handoffs. He needs to be action-involved offense. And I think to start the season, Tomas wasn't given the chance to run the offense that way. And I think Jim Boylan is slowly figuring out how to get the most out of him. And, again, I'm not rooting against Jim Boylan. I'm rooting against failure. I'm rooting against failure.
I am.
That's
I'm
my
rooting
thing.
against Jim Boylan. And that's where this season, it's of course, every loss hurts. I want this team to win.
Right.
Especially the games we're supposed to. I remember doing a video not too long ago, one of the Bulls reactions I did, where I was like, okay, in the next few, we should have some very winnable games.
Yep.
And it was, okay, we beat Charlotte, but we needed a Zach LaVine performance in the last 30 to do it.
Legendary.
And then we lost to Golden State, and I was like, all right, it just deflated everything.
Yep.
And right now, as we're recording this,
we're losing to a G
we
League
were up
team.
51. We're up 51 to 50 at half.
Hey.
So we're up by 1. So
Nail biter.
So it's we could possibly lose again.
A great performance out of Lowry Marketing, but Zach's cold.
Right now, you want to know who the league scorer is for the Warriors?
Nope.
Glenn Robinson III, Dave, has 11 points.
Okay.
Draymond only has 4.
All right. So taking all that and the live update, where do you think we go from here, Sam? If we're still on the page of, look, even if Otto is going to be nagging injury, as long as Zach doesn't go out, we should still be able to fight for it. Do you think that we're being realistic with that expectation?
I don't know. The thing is, I look on the alternative side right now with the record. If we actually get pretty high percentage to be a top 3 pick, would you guys sort of prefer we sort of shut down everybody about 2/3 in and really try to more antsy upper odds as far as getting a higher draft pick?
I mean, the draft's kooky. The draft's kooky. I mean, last year we were, what was it? 2 years ago, we were a coin flip away. We won the coin flip with the Kings, and then they got the lotto boost to go up to the number 2 pick. So we were literally a coin flip loss away from getting Luka Doncic. Things that I don't want to think about at night. Playing the lottery is tough, and I would rather go for the wins. I think we've got talent on the team, and if we, end up being at the back end of the lottery, there's still a pretty good chance we could bounce around. I think I play it out, and I go for the wins. I love this class. I think there's a ton of young prospects. I'm super excited. We're going for a mock draft recording tomorrow, but I was hoping more for the playoffs, but I don't know, Sam. You're talking like we're not going to make it at all. Are you saying that we're not, or are you saying would you rather?
I don't know. It's conflicting for me because it's we see flashes where it's oh, we're actually good enough to maybe make that 8th seed push. But then there's other nights we just look like complete crappers, and it's maybe it's just better we go back to the drawing board and just try to get a really high wing kid and try to shore up the 3.
I'm going to throw in a similar thing that Dave and I talked about with the Bears that fits in here. We mentioned it when Dave, you brought up Sean during the Mitch Trubisky debate of Sean, we don't feel is rooting against the Bears, but we have a feeling that he doesn't want Mitch to be here long term. That he's not happy with Mitch.
Well,
if Mitch wins games, Mitch is going to be here. Same thing pops into my head with the Bulls. Do we want the Bulls to make the playoffs, even if that means Jim Boylan's job is then secured? Because if the Bulls make the playoffs, even as the 8th seed, it's kind of hard to fire Jim Boylan then.
I mean, we did watch the Coach of the Year get fired.
True.
Toronto Raptors moving on. They had Nick Nurse in the wings, though, and he revolutionized their offense.
With a coach like Dave Fizdale out there, I don't know how we can keep boiling here, right, Dave?
You know, I'm not going to acknowledge that comment. Sam, what do you think about that? Do you think that if we get stuck with, if we do win some games and make it to the playoffs, is Boylan a lock on staying if we make the playoffs with this team?
I would say so, but that sort of brings up another thing. I think that free agency window we're looking at in 21, right?
Mm-hmm.
When most of the people are on the market again, we do actually. The other thing I do remember is if we do actually want to make that grand free agency pitch to that one superstar guy to complete our starting lineup.
Yeah.
We actually have to show some growth, like the Brooklyn Nets, for example, did. And look what the hell they were able to do. They were able to haul in Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant.
Yeah. No, they went from a team who had a bunch of, B and C tier kind of players, and they strung together a really gritty season, and they had great performances out of Joe Harris. Spencer Dinwiddie was fantastic. Karis LeVert, when healthy, was amazing. D'Angelo Russell, great. And yeah, they were able to go ahead and pull that in. I want to give some of that credit to the fact that they're also a New York team. I know the Barclays Center, but they are in, still a Mecca. I get it.
Yeah.
The Knicks have the Garden, but you're still in New York, and that counts for a lot. And I feel the fear of Chicago never being able to land a big free agent in basketball. And that's. I think it'd be great if we could.
Hey man, Anthony Davis, he's coming next year. He told us, Dave, he's gonna come. I mean, we gotta take him at his word, right? Right?
Nope. Nope. I mean, it does lead to an interesting talk, though, about contracts. We've got Otto Porter, who I think a lot of people are assuming he's going to opt out.
Well, we're getting
paid.
We're getting nothing for him now that he's injured.
Right.
That's the thing. With the injury going longer, it's will we be able to trade him? And when we do, what will we be able to get because he's injured?
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about a guy who, his prime basically was being a 3-and-D master out there. He's one of the most consistent shooters I think I've ever seen from the outside. Just incredibly efficient, solid defense, and we even saw at the end of last year, which gave us hope for right or wrong, that he can create for himself if he has to. We saw what we didn't get to see out of him on the Wizards. So,
and if he doesn't get traded because of the injury, does he say fuck it and he just opts in?
Take the $27 million again and be cool with it?
I'm not going to get that anywhere else because of this
injury?
injury that I've had this year.
What do you think, Sam?
I think he's not going to be stupid and realize he probably has to stay put with the option because, seriously, the way the injuries have been mounting the past year, it's not really going to be helping his market value down the line because most teams are yeah, we'll take a pass on the guy.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to Chandler Parsons it.
No.
But I mean, he maybe if he is able to string together some healthy games, as the season goes on, even if it's not until after the trade deadline, do we look at a Harrison Barnes-esque deal where it's 20, in that mid 20s range for 4 years, because this is a thin class. There's not a lot of attractive free agents out there, and he does play a role where we are desperate for help. I don't know. I feel if he does take this deal, or if we offer him, an extension, a 4-year deal, I feel like my plan going into this year was we play this year. If we make the playoff, if we look like a playoff team before the deadline, keep him. Let's run the table, see what happens, and we'll figure it out in the offseason. But if we don't, and we're struggling, trade him. Trade him for everything we can get. Just pull the trigger on that.
Anything is better than nothing.
Absolutely. I hate watching guys walk out the door for nothing. So with his injuries, Ricky, I think you hit on the head. I think there's a chance that, he may not fetch anything if he is not able to string together a couple healthy games. So we'll have to wait and see on that. The rest of this team, though, expectations for the rest of the year, I think there's a lot of young, talented guys out there. I think our offense is finally moving because Zach Levine's trying hard. Is there anybody in that bench mob unit? Do you think that, like the Chris Dunn play that led the entire offseason conversation of moving Chris Dunn? I feel like he's played really well.
I don't know. For the right price, I'd keep him. For the right price.
Sam, I'm gonna need you in here as the decider then. Like, are you?
Why, are you saying get rid of him, Dave?
No,
okay.
no. But I feel like Sean would.
Yeah, okay.
Because I went into the season saying, I went into the season being like, Chris Dunn is our starting point guard. He deserves to stay our starting point guard. He's gonna be good. It's a contract year. Sam, what do you think? Chris Dunn, stay, go, ship him, let him walk. What's the plan?
I'd say it depends what type of deal we get. If we get like a deal we can't refuse, then yeah, I'd pull the trigger in a heartbeat. But he's been a pretty vital bench guy, so it's like if we do actually make that push, we're probably going to need him once we get in there.
Yeah,
in my view.
No, I mean his defense has been great. Yes, we know he can't shoot great, but the less we ask him to do, the better he does. And his defense is just monstrous.
What would you consider to be like a max return value for him at the deadline if someone were to some contending team were to hypothetically need like a solid defensive backup like PG?
AKA, do you think we can get a late first out of him?
Yes.
I think if we trade seconds, we can. I think it would be Chris Dunn and a 2
team?
Swap for a late first.
I'm trying to think what playoff team
needs
what
a backup
late
point
playoff
guard?
team defensive.
Yep.
Point guard.
Yep. Those are rare.
Miami could need defense.
Miami's got all the defense.
You've got the Clippers don't need Dallas.
Dallas would be interesting. They've got JJ Barea back healthy and Jalen Brunson though. I think they got bigger eyes.
I mean, could the Lakers? The Lakers don't need.
You got Rajon Rondo. Don't disrespect.
The Celtics, they've got Marcus Smart, so they don't really
Wicked Smart.
Need that. I don't even think Toronto wouldn't even make a deal like that.
They've got Fred VanVleet and Lowry. That's the problem. Like a lot of these teams have a couple guys. The Bucks are Bucks' only thing that they could hope on is like if George Hill got injured, but he's playing really well. He's incredibly efficient. He's a great player and a great fit on their team. And Chris Dunn kind of ruins the spacing. So
what about Portland?
Whew.
I know they're pick 14 right now, but if they pick things up, they'd be
they're on a roll
15
right now.
to 30.
I will give you the credit.
Right now, they're about they're 1.5 out of that 15th, out of the playoffs, basically.
Yeah.
Behind. They're 9 and 13.
How's their second round picks for this year, out of curiosity?
Portland, let's see. Full order.
I think the thing with Portland to keep in mind is you want Damon CJ
They got
out there.
1 second. Right now, it'd be the 44 if the draft was today.
Yeah, you got Damon CJ out there, and I know Anthony Simons, my boy Ant, fantastic. So I don't know, they do need a fourth guy. They need someone else out there, and having a defensive stopper as that wild card would be great.
I
don't know if we
because
get
Dame's not a defensive guy.
No.
CJ's
None
not
of them
defensive. Yeah,
none of them
so
are.
that's why I threw him out there.
That'd be interesting.
Given Portland's current roster construction, I think Chris would really thrive actually in their overall system over there.
I do too, but I don't think we can get a late one out of them because their one will be pick 16 or 17 maybe,
Yeah.
And I think that's too much value.
Still,
even if we do a pick swap in the second.
Yeah.
No, but I think that second round would be more than perfect. I mean, 44th. I mean, that'd be still. We could find good value. I mean, look how we found Gafford.
True.
Getting good pick.
Yeah, I think if we give up Dunn and a second for a late one, otherwise it's going to be probably a second round pick for Chris Dunn, which I think he deserves more than. But he can't fucking shoot, and it kills me. If he could shoot, we'd have a weapon.
Or do we when Otto gets healthy?
Yeah.
Do we package Chris Dunn with Otto Porter to sweeten a deal because of Otto's injury?
Does it sweeten it? Does it sour it? I don't know.
I mean, with the play so far this year, I think it's sweeten it.
Okay. He is. I think in the top 3, if not leading the league in steals right now.
Because you're getting a good defensive guy, you're getting a good offensive guy when healthy, and
He's
Otto
a two-way
Porter.
player. Otto's a two-way.
True. But I mean, given that Mostly the 3 and D. The D is defense, but really I think about the 3 part.
No, he's an excellent defender still. Anyway, we're floating around guys to potentially move if things don't work out well. I'm still hoping for playoffs. I think we're going to be, spitting distance from 500.
I would love if they made the playoffs, Dave, because then I'd be right. But there's a part of me that's like, is that what I want?
Yeah.
Is it what I want?
Are you rooting against playoffs because you want to get rid of Jim Boylan and you want to get Gar
becomes the question.
Or not John Paxton, but Gar Foreman fired?
Yeah. Like, that's the question. Like,
if you could guarantee me if the Bulls miss the playoffs, Jim Boylan and Gar Foreman will be fired, would you take that deal?
If we finish 9th.
Nope.
If we finish 9th, then yeah, because then we're right there, and then, all right, we fire them.
Nope. I'm talking like we suck.
Like what we are now?
Yeah,
or
like
worse than now?
7th pick in the draft again. Eternally 7.
I'd
Sam?
take it because at least we'd have a good draft pick.
Sam, what you thinking?
Well, if it just if it cuts 2 of the 3 heads out of the dragon, then yes, I'd totally go for that.
I absolutely would take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like, no thought required. If we're actually going to clear house, I'll take another losing season.
Well,
am I disappointed? Yes. We have the talent on the court to be good enough in the East this year. We've not played like it, so I think...
Well, the only question I'll ask is, even if we are the 8th seed, do you think we're going to upset the Bucks in the first round?
God, no. We're going to get spanked.
Yeah, so it's like, even if we make the 8th seed, we're going to get spanked around.
But
we're going to get swept.
It's experience. It's the playoff atmosphere. Excuse me. It's getting the guys in the mode to go for the playoffs, because it's something different.
More dollars for Jerry.
Exactly. It's winning all around. I mean, look, did Detroit enjoy the playoffs last year? You have to ask Soapy, But I think that, just being there means something to a team, and the fact that they put together a really good regular season, I think it was worth it. I mean, it's a shame Blake got hurt at the end of last year. I don't mean it, Soapy.
Again, you never know. We could have one of those, miracle, 1-win moments where Zach and Laurie just go off.
Yeah, Zach could shoot, 14 threes in the game. Just pop it off,
Oh, no. And the thing is, that could have implications down the line. Like, it might catch someone's twinkle.
There we go. No, you did mention the free agency. How are you going to get a free agent in there if you can't win games?
Yeah.
And I think that would actually go a long way. I mean, hell, this offseason, if the Pelicans don't do it, we can offer a max deal to Brandon Ingram. There's a guy who would you love to have on this team. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. Sam, is there any free agents this upcoming year that you kind of, pining after? Even unrealistic is, Ricky saying Anthony Davis is coming to Chicago. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that a guy who's a lock to get an offer from the Pelicans to stay, but anybody like that?
Well, who's the main headliners? Because I think I haven't reviewed who's contracts.
Ricky, pull up Spot Rack and
that's what I'm gonna do.
Put the list together, because like I said, it's a thin group, and there's just a lot of guys who we expect to stay put. But with the NBA flipping over as much as it is, I don't know.
So, top players: Anthony Davis has a player option. DeMar DeRozan, player option. Brandon Ingram, restricted free agent. Our first unrestricted free agent, Danilo Gallinari.
Be interesting.
Andre Drummond, player option. Bogdan Bogdanovic with the restricted.
Honestly,
he's restricted.
But they're not going to match.
Gordon Hayward has a player op. DeMarcus Cousins, unrestricted free agent, but back-to-back injuries.
Yep.
Marcus Gasol, unrestricted. Sean's boy, Derek Favors, unrestricted. Millsap, unrestricted. Marukes Morris, unrestricted. Serge, unrestricted. What if we went and got a hometown kid, Fred Van Vliet?
There's no way he's leaving We the North.
Unrestricted.
There's 0% he leaves.
Otto's got the player op. Goran's unrestricted. Dario Saric is restricted. Fournier is a player op. Harold's unrestricted. And Jeff Teague is unrestricted. That's the top 20.
Okay. And any names stand out to you, Sam?
I'd like to take a flyer on one of the wing guys. I think Gallinari or Hayward would be an interesting fit. Thing is, I think we could actually get them for a little bit under the market value too.
Yeah, I mean, Hayward's got that injury history now building up, unfortunately. He's just I think he's just incredibly unlucky. But it is what it is sometimes in basketball. And Gallo, dude can score. He's smooth, he's big. His defense is not great. He can get switched on and get in trouble, but he's good enough. And for the offensive efficiency that he throws down, he's absolutely worth it.
And I don't think he's going to want to stay in Oklahoma City.
I mean, people are trying to ship him this year. That's the whole thing. It's like he's one of the hot trade names because guess what? It's that time of year.
Yeah.
Isn't it December 15th is when the NBA opens up?
That's where all the guys that were signed in the offseason can be traded.
Anybody, any trade guys that you want to pull in then? I'm just going to throw more questions. Sorry. No prep.
Oh, man.
Just on the spot.
I was really having fun yesterday with Soapy.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about a possible, like, Blake Griffin trade.
Yep.
And there were a lot of them that I was like, well, it can't happen until the 15th, but and I would throw them out there. I don't know if there's any, like, all the guys that are, like, signed, I think it's not that they get moved. It's hey, I can't trade for Blake. I can't trade for K-Love until the 15th.
Gotcha. Sam, I mean, you mentioned before this segment K-Love. I know he's absolutely not a fit with us, but, is there anybody else out there who intrigues you in trade rumors?
Well, if it's like a really like capable all-star type player and we wouldn't actually have to, let's say, give up much to get him, I'd say pull the trigger.
Just do it anyway. Fit be damned. I'd be cool, if we made some interesting moves. If we made some interesting moves, I'd be fine. Because again, we kind of talked about this core hadn't been able to put together. Do you give them the whole year to run it out, or if a great offer comes up for somebody, move on it. I can't wait. I already know next week towards the end of January, I want to do like buyers or sellers for the Bulls. Maybe it'll be before then, because we got to figure that out sooner rather than later. We knew the year of the 1-2 punch that those guys were getting sold. Yeah. But this year, I think it's a confusing game of like, should we be buyers or sellers? We can get excited about that one being a future topic.
Well, yesterday, I don't think it does happen, but just to mess with Soapy, I threw out a trade for Blake Griffin that would bring him to Chicago. But I don't think people want to move on from Lauri Markkanen, so
I would.
It wouldn't be.
For Blake Griffin in a heartbeat.
All right. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Let's hear it.
I got to remember.
Blake Griffin. Are you kidding me? He's amazing.
God, I got to remember who I had in it. Lowry was one of them.
Had to be like Lowry and Otto to soak contract.
Yeah, I think that was it.
I think they would do that. I think that could be a win-win.
Let me see.
I did remember a pick or two or something of that nature.
Yeah, I think it was this. I think it was Blake Griffin for Lauri Markkanen, Otto Porter, Chandler Hutchinson.
And a first-round pick.
Unless you switch Hutchinson for Chris Dunn.
I'd rather keep Chris Dunn.
That's what I was thinking. Another one I threw out, and I'm just throwing this out because it messes with you, because your boy is a part of it. One of your boys.
Yeah, I got a lot of boys.
Blake Griffin to the Trailblazers.
Oh.
The Pistons would get Hassan Whiteside, Skal Labissiere, Nasir Little.
Don't say it.
And your boy, Dave, Anthony. Yeah,
I mean, I would love that deal for both teams. Don't get me wrong. I think that's a win-win. I think the Bulls would have to toss in a first to compete. It would be.
My absolute favorite is I did one for the Wizards, and as soon as I said Wizards, Soapy was like, "No, oh, he's coming back. Ish is coming back."
Our boy Ish. I fucking love Ish. Another one of my boys.
Apparently, all of Detroit wants him back.
I mean, who can blame him after watching Reggie Jackson play point guard for that long? Sorry. Taking shots. This is the Bulls segment.
Yeah.
Let's wrap on a Bulls note. Let's cumulatively, I'm thinking Bulls this year. Here's my final prediction. I'm putting it in stone right now.
All right.
This is the quarter update. I'm saying the Bulls this year will win 37 games and miss the playoffs by 1 game.
Yeah, I don't know how many wins we get, but we get in that 8th seed.
Oh.
Zach, Lowry, Wendell, they're all going to play pissed off. Mostly Zach. He's going to carry us to the 8th seed.
Sam, close us out here.
I'm going to more side with you, Dave, but I'm going to say it's going to be like near 500, but we're going to be missing probably by 5 games, I'd say, within that margin.
That's right. That's that 30. Like missing the playoffs or missing 500. Because 42 or 41 and 41 is 500. So you'd be about 36 wins if you're talking 5 under.
Yeah, in that case, I'd be sort of like similar prediction than that 5-game margin.
I just have that uncomfortable feeling like we're gonna be like on the outside looking in, and I hope that's enough to get Jim Boylan fired. Because once I spoke that, I want to speak it into existence.
LeVar Ball. He taught us well.
Absolutely.
Here's another question. Who would you want them to replace him with?
Oh, come on. Not David Fizdale. I know you're trying to bait me right now into a Fizdale line, and I can't.
No, man, gotta bring Rick Pitino to the Bulls, right?
Oh my god!
Because apparently he'd be a great fit for the Knicks.
Talked about that too. I don't know. That's finding the Bulls' next head coach is going to be another topic. I don't have anybody on the top of my mind. I don't want to just do the laser out and take an interim and move them in and make them the full time without any interviews. And that's the thing. I
got a tweet from, and I mentioned him. I shouted him out in a Bulls reaction. Christian, who brought up Roy Rogers and Jeff Van Gundy.
Yeah.
And the thing with Roy Rogers is, I know he's one of our assistants, but Jim Boylan has scarred me from that. I don't want it to just be, well, get Boylan out of here, next assistant up. It's like, maybe the internal candidates have not been the best.
Well, just interview. I'm not even saying don't talk to him. I think that you have to interview him as part of the collective. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I hate is when guys don't look at their options. When we have a GM who's like, you know what, I'm not going to look at the other quarterbacks in this draft. Yeah. I got my guy. And that worked out real great, Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when the Bears fired John Fox, was actually one of the head coaching candidates. They did a formal interview.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like, you can interview them, but you have to do the formal interview process regardless. You just can't be like, oh, yeah, you're next in line, so here's the job. It's like, no, you got to do a formal process.
Totally agree. And on that note, it's going to wrap up Superfans for us today. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Ricky. This has been a great episode. Had a ton of fun.
You're welcome, David.
Oh, thank you. I didn't say Richard. Why dropping the David?
I don't know. It's just like, I was weird that you said you never thank me. So
why wouldn't I thank you?
I don't know. I'm not used to it. I'm not used to being on this side of the table.
Fair enough. But again, thank you, Sam. Thank you, Ricky. This has been a great episode. We've hit Bears, we've hit Bulls, we've hit Sox, covered all the teams that matter. Fuck you, Cubs. We're still cool, though.
We're still cool.
We're still cool, though. I think that's it. Like, if you guys like this shit, check us out on YouTube. Yeah. Check all our other stuff out. iTunes.
If you like this shit.
Let's just be honest. If you like this shit, check us out on iTunes. What else are we on, Ricky? You got to tell me because I never can remember.
We're on everything.
We're on everything?
I don't know. It's just whatever. Like, all right, tune in, spot. Like,
there we go. That's giving the rundown.
iTunes, Spotify still hasn't gotten back to me, so I got to email them again.
Okay.
It's difficult, man. It's difficult getting on that Spotify.
I understand. They're exclusive.
But everyone wants it, so we're going to do it. I will not rest until we're on it.
That's the update they've been waiting for. That's why I wanted you to talk about this. We're going to get to Spotify at some point soon, hopefully.
I'll let you know.
All right. But that'll wrap things up. Thank you guys so much. Catch you next time.